guess we should plug the tour. Where all are we going on this tour?
Oh yeah, it's the we're calling it the "We're a Band Worth Your Time" tour.
Nice.
Because
we're not too proud to beg.
Nope. I put it on all the posters, and I was hoping that I don't know, people would just see something and be like, it says "We're a band worth your time," and they'd be like, well, at least they're upfront about it. All right. So far, I've heard no one who said that. But yeah, we're heading down to South Carolina. We're kind of like working our way over to Texas, then up to Colorado, then up to the Dakotas, and then kind of back to Connecticut through all the northern states.
How long do you think that'll be? Y'all be back by summer?
No, mid-March.
Yeah, March 12th.
But something I noticed internally, like I didn't believe in God believed in me. Was this a feeling from the divine, or something I made up in my mind? Oh, I've got a ring that resists, catches me, and I've got a
OT. I love hot tea. I don't know why you guys do sweet tea.
Yeah, Marcus, that's
Hot tea's good.
Hot tea's good too. Just it's usually really hot in the South, so a nice refreshing cold beverage with sugar I guess is our go-to. It's been inbred into us.
Like, that tea is good, but could it be like cold and filled with diabetes? That was mean.
I'd give an arm and a leg for that tea.
That's good. I don't think I've heard that one.
Eventually.
A little dark.
Oh yeah.
That's right up our alley of jokes, though. That's good.
There was this one time when I was teaching, we were doing a diabetes awareness day, and we did the scavenger hunt where kids would have to like run up to us. We'd ask them a question about diabetes, and then they had to answer, and we'd give them the next clue. And so,
Weird outing idea.
in the community where I grew up, diabetes is a huge issue.
Okay.
It's a really big problem. So anyways, this one group of kids comes up. We ask them like, it was like three things, like which one of these things is happens if you have diabetes. And one of them was you could lose a limb. And so that was the correct answer. And so the kids were like trying to get it, they couldn't get it. So finally, like, we tell them the answer, and as I'm telling them the answer, the next group is arriving, all right? So then those kids run off, the next group arrives, and we ask them the question. And one of the kids goes, oh, I know, it's lose a limb. And I was like, no, you just heard me say that. You can't just, you cheated. And the guy goes, no, I didn't. My mom doesn't have legs. And I was just like,
oh, no.
Here's everything that you need. Just, I am a terrible person. Yep.
And that's how she got fired from her teaching.
Robin Williams decide that he didn't like his life. But that's weird, I'm told money and fame make it great.
You guys working on any new material? With 10 having been out for a while?
Eric's been writing a couple of things.
No.
What you doing last night?
Yeah, I'm still working it out. Yeah, I'm hoping to, at this point in my life, I think Death Anxiety went really well, our album, and I think people really liked just the concept behind it. And with Tin, it was more of a music concept rather than a lyrical concept. But I think I really like the idea of concept albums and trying to come up with a grand theme and explore all the ideas around that theme. And I think now I've been trying to explore, try to make an album of, in the same way that Death Anxiety was a non-depressing album about death. It was that was the goal. I want to make a non-sexual album about sex. And just about how, I feel especially growing up in, the Christian community, of how I feel I was taught about sex, hearing from Elizabeth about how she was taught about sex as a woman, and about the realities of sex, and about there seems to be a lot of disconnect. It's I guess the most blatant thing that really annoys me is kind of how it's don't do it, it's bad, don't do it, it's bad, don't do it, do it. A 20-minute ceremony happens, and then they're go nuts. And I don't know, at least I wasn't expecting as an older person, that in retrospect and like just looking at some way and talking with other people, like there are some ways in which that type of mindset and growing up with that kind of mindset, I think was detrimental to the way like I viewed sex, like almost in an unhealthy way. And I mean, and you like, I mean, you were like telling me about how the way you were taught, like the way you'd hear about guys being taught like youth group about sex, and then the way that girls.
I was like every youth group and Sunday school event I went to that dealt with sexuality was like, don't dress badly because it's your fault if you cause guys to lust after you.
Yeah,
it's like no, it really isn't.
It's sort of on the guys. Like
maybe you should be teaching the guys not to be creepy.
I mean, like, you know, it's, sure you can make arguments on different biology and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's like, no, it can't come down to.
It's just like raised in body shaming, and that's just, as like an adult, I'm just like, no, that's not okay. That's not
right. And I think there's so many women who, like, especially in our generation, who grew up, and I've talked to, who've like grown up with, they have troubles with body, and I mean our culture as a whole, but like just troubles with like just being comfortable in their own body, and like even troubles with like just that again, like sudden switch of like a 20-minute ceremony. Now it's great forever, and it's just like, I don't know. I think it's a very unhealthy way of viewing it, and I just think it's not that I have the answers, but I just think that should be reevaluated, and there should be you know, like new ways that I think, especially in the church, they should approach teaching people about sex, and even other things. Just like when it comes to sex, like I don't know. When I was younger, I never thought there would be times as a guy that I didn't want to have sex, like where I'd be the one to be like, I just no. And I've talked to some guys, and they're like, "What? That never happens to me." But at the same time, I talk to others who they're like, "Yeah, that kind of like surprised me too." And I feel like that's something that you're just kind of taught. It's like that's never a thing that you know you deal with. I don't know, and I've just been very disappointed in that. And so I think the next album and like a lot of the newer songs kind of kind of touch around the idea of like sex in a way. But I don't want to write any songs that are like, you know, sexualized, like pop radio stuff, like really just like sexualized stuff.
Just the next music video is just you dressed up like Britney Spears, like
just gyrating.
It. Yeah.
Just Elizabeth like,
wow, Pocket Vinyl went downhill quick.
Upon their entry, they'll be afraid for this brand new thing where you can simultaneously laugh and sing, and there'll be a light that makes the vision so crystal clear, and we'll forget the definition of fear.
If you could be any fighter jet, what would you be?
Fighter jet? I'd actually, can I choose like a World War II, like Red Baron type, like...
That's World War I.
That's World War I. I mean, they're the same, right? Like, they're just... What fighter jet would you be?
The silver.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, right.
These things are seen, and I've been self-described as a tiny man with a tiny life.
Nice. Yeah. We've been watching a lot of Next Generation lately.
Yes.
Oh, man. We love Next Generation. Have I told you about my Next Generation love? It's like one of my favorite shows of all time.
And,
literally one of my favorite
inevitably
shows.
Picard's body has been taken over by something or somebody's.
Going into the holodeck, which they really should stop going in there because something always bad happens.
Yeah. You would think they would learn holodeck malfunctions are so frequent.
Like
At
every
least
other
once
time.
a season. There's this one episode where Picard, like a satellite hits him, like something like translates to his head, and he like lives an entire, it's like in 20 minutes in real time, but he like goes to this alternate universe and lives an entire life as another person and grows old and like comes to think that that's reality
Stuff out of that.
and has like a family and everything.
I think that's what they
And it's like this whole episode, he like grows old and like is on his like deathbed, and then like comes back, and the whole reason was like the civilization that launched the satellite wanted to be remembered because their planet was dying. So like whoever it found, it would have like translated all their history and stuff through like a bridge. It made me cry.
Wow.
Patrick Stewart.
Hi.
I love you so much.